Ancient Athenaeum presents
A deep investigative study.
The Red Room.
When H.G. Wells wrote The Red Room in 1896, he was a young man still proving himself. He was not yet the architect of world histories or the prophet of global futures. He was a writer, surviving on speed, ingenuity, and the market for short fiction. Ghost stories sold well. Gothic tales filled magazines. Readers wanted chills. And Wells, trained as a scientist, understood exactly how to give them something deeper than fear. What he produced instead was a dismantling of the ghost story itself. The Red Room was first published in The Idler, a popular illustrated magazine, at a time when Victorian Britain was fascinated by spiritualism. Seances were fashionable. Haunted houses were taken seriously. The supernatural was not merely entertainment, it was debated, investigated, and, by many, believed. Wells entered this cultural moment not as a believer, but as a challenger. The story opens in an ancient castle, isolated and decaying, occupied by three elderly caretakers. They warn the unnamed narrator about a particular chamber, the Red Room. Others who have entered it, they say, have not returned the same. Some have fled. One died. The narrator listens politely and dismisses them. From the beginning, Wells establishes his central conflict. Not man versus ghost, but reason versus fear. The narrator is confident, articulate, and rational. He prides himself on his intelligence. He does not deny that fear exists, but he believes it can be mastered through light, logic, and preparation. This confidence reflects Wells himself. At the time, Wells was deeply influenced by scientific rationalism. He had studied biology under T.H. Huxley, Darwin's bulldog, and had absorbed the late Victorian faith in reason as a civilizing force. Superstition, Wells believed, was not evidence of the supernatural, it was evidence of the mind under pressure. And pressure is exactly what the Red Room provides. The narrator enters the room armed with candles and matches. Wells lingers over the details, the heavy furniture, the rich crimson hangings, the oppressive silence. The color red dominates the space, not violently, but suffocatingly. It is the color of blood, yes, but also of velvet, of wealth, of old power gone stale. This is not a space designed to terrify overtly. It is designed to enclose. As the narrator lights the candles, Wells introduces the story's true antagonist, not a ghost, not a presence, but darkness itself. The candles create islands of light, but also long, unstable shadows. Each flame increases visibility while simultaneously multiplying uncertainty. This is the paradox at the heart of the story. The more the narrator tries to control the environment, the more unstable it becomes. Wells carefully escalates the tension without introducing a single supernatural event. The candles go out one by one. The room seems to change shape. Furniture becomes obstacles. Corners multiply. The narrator stumbles, panics, and finally collapses in terror. At no point does Wells cheat. Nothing impossible occurs. And yet the fear is overwhelming. When the narrator is rescued and brought back to the caretakers, humiliated and shaken, he delivers the story's final revelation. The Red Room, he declares, is not haunted by ghosts. It is haunted by fear itself. This conclusion was radical for its time. Wells was not merely writing a clever twist. He was making a philosophical claim that fear is not an external force acting upon humanity, but an internal condition generated by uncertainty, isolation, and the limits of perception. Darkness terrifies not because it hides monsters, but because it removes reference points. Without light, the mind turns inward and begins to invent. The elderly caretakers, whom the narrator initially regards as foolish, are not corrected. They are not enlightened. Wells leaves them untouched, suggesting that belief and explanation exist on separate planes. Rationality may explain fear, but it does not eliminate it. This is crucial. Unlike later rationalist writers who treat fear as something to be conquered, Wells treats it as something to be understood. The narrator's failure is not that he is afraid, but that he believes himself immune to fear. In this sense, The Red Room is not a ghost story. It is a psychological case study, written decades before psychology would enter popular discourse. Wells anticipates modern understandings of panic, sensory deprivation, and cognitive collapse. The story demonstrates how quickly confidence disintegrates when the environment strips away control. And yet, Wells does not mock his narrator. There is no cruelty in the ending. The narrator survives, chastened but wiser. He does not abandon reason, he refines it. He recognizes that fear is real even when its cause is not external. This balance between skepticism and humility reflects Wells's own intellectual posture at the time. He was not attacking belief, he was attacking arrogance. In the years that followed, Wells would imagine far greater terrors: alien invasions, evolutionary nightmares, civilizations collapsing under their own weight. But The Red Room remains one of his most precise works. It achieves its effect without spectacle, without violence, without monsters. It suggests something more unsettling: that the most powerful horrors require no haunting, no curse, no presence at all, only darkness and a mind left alone within it.